Yes. I know that your current situation it's terrible. That you have no money and that you and your family are hungry. And this anguish does not let you sleep or to be at peace. And I know that you feel that there is no way to change it, and you feel sad, anguished, depressed, desperate, with fear, failed and without hope. But still, you have to get up and move forward. Yes, you can. You have to. But if you want to cry, then cry. If you want to laugh, even despite your situation, laugh. If you feel like to scream, find a place alone and scream. Do not stay with the desire to do what you feel. Release the tension you have within yourself. This will help you to feel better and to clear your mind, so that you will be able to find the solution. We have been blessed with the 4 tools that we need to attract and achieve everything that we desire. Our brain, mind, thoughts, imagination and our subconscious. Our heart, feelings and emotions. Our body, movement, energy and creation. Energy. The energy that we take from the universe, and the energy that we ourselves generates. Any form of life can achieve it, if it really wants to. Whoever in truth has the absolute desire to live, then will get everything that he wants. It is the obligation and the duty of the universe to grant it to you. Life is energy. Use it. Our brain and our body have energy. Everything in the universe has energy. Feel your subconscious. Feel your subconscious. Feel your subconscious. Feel your subconscious. Use your subconscious. The neck is one of the most powerful power points that we have. You have to learn how to use it. Because only an orderly, balanced, organized, prudent, consistent, coherent, practical, structured, rational, logical, sensible, eloquent, calm, successful, open, strong, positive, consistent, pragmatic, objective, clear, wise, intelligent mind, powerful and consistent can achieve everything. The biggest problem that most people have, it's that they don't really realize what they are thinking and what that their thoughts are. But how can we align our mind, thoughts, body, feelings, emotions, and energy? You have to be congruent and coherent with your thoughts and your feelings. To boost your desire in a single direction. You have to understand that God it's not going to move a single finger for you. Not even one. Do not expect that what you want, God it's going to give it to you. Nothing is going to come from the sky. You are the one who has everything that you need to attract and achieve everything that you want with your powerful mind and heart. You have everything you need within you. Do not trust God. Never trust God. Never. Trust that everything will be fine. Thought that everything will be fine. Feel that everything will be fine. Be sure that everything will be fine. Trust that everything will be all right. Have faith always. Always have faith in the universe and in yourself. Always. The more worthy that you feel, the faster you will receive everything that you want. If you are working or you are anywhere, and suddenly you feel and want to be in another place like Cancun, Las Vegas, or Europe, enjoying good food and drinks. Keep that desire alive, do not forget it. But the problem is that you feel that it's impossible for you, that you do not deserve it, and that you are not worthy to be there. Because you feel that you don't deserve to be there, enjoying life. You feel that first, you have to work a lot to be able to achieve it, and that is the condition that you yourself are putting to your desire. But are you worthy to be happy and a millionaire? Almost all the people feel and think that they are not worthy of being happy and millionaires. But why? Why do you think you are not worthy of being happy? Why? You must be very careful with what you are going to think and say. Of the reasons why do you believe that you are not worthy of being happy and a millionaire, because those will be your conditions to limit your desires. Let me tell you that of course, that you are completely and absolutely worthy to live life with joy and happiness. Of being happy. You have to know that the rich people are not worthier than you. But you have to stop putting limits and conditions to yourself. You have to stop believing that you are not worthy. Because you are, you really are. And you have to start believing and feeling that you are worthy. Because you are. You really are. Many believe that they have to earn the right to be happy after having worked hard all of their lives, but that is not true. You are worthy of having everything that you want to be happy. Everything. You have to repeat to yourself. Yes, I am worthy. You have to believe that you are worthy. You have to feel that you are worthy to be happy. You have to know that you are worthy of being happy. But you have to repeat this to yourself many times a day, because you are truly worthy of being happy. You really are. If you want to be happy, then you have to stop thinking and worrying about other people's problems, and it's not being selfish. Because you have your own problems, but if you add other people's problems to your life, then you will never be happy. You and your family have to be first. Never take the problems of others into your house. Always think, I don't know how, but I always get what I want. Why does the poor get poorer and the rich gets richer? The reason why the poor gets poorer and the rich gets richer in fact, there is not only one reason. There are several reasons. One of the most important is, without a doubt, the area and the zone in which we are born, live and develop, has a huge influence on our life. Because we adopt the customs, thoughts, attitudes and beliefs from others. If you grow in a poor area, even if you don't want it, you will adopt many of the customs, ways of thinking, beliefs and attitudes of others. But being a poor area, you will adopt the deficiencies, conformisms, limits, impotence, violence, alcoholism, poverty, laziness, ignorance, jealousy and bad habits, which will undoubtedly influence your life. And when you see that all the people around you are poor and conformist, you will believe that you have to be like them. But if you develop in a rich and wealthy zone or area, you will also adopt the beliefs and attitudes of that area, since you see them every day. But there are beliefs and attitudes of success, power, winning, success and to being able to achieve everything that you want to achieve. And that there are no limits. Even in rich areas, if someone has a very good idea, they support each other to start that business, while in poor areas, they drag down those who want to improve themselves and to get ahead. Many people do not try to overcome and improve their current situation, because they believe that this is where they had to live. But, is that where you had to live? Maybe that's where you were born, but that doesn't mean that's where you have to live forever. You have to find a way to improve your life. Always. Even more, if you do not like that place. No one is guilty for being born poor. But you are guilty for dying poor. Also, the rich and wealthy people are not to blame for being born like that, for being born rich and wealthy. Poor people only focus and concentrate on being rich and what they are going to buy and do with that money. But they never concentrate, plan or think on how they are going to achieve it. While rich people also think about wealth, but they focus and concentrate, first, on how they are going to achieve it, and then on how they are going to spend it and enjoying. Another very important reason is because of the way that they handle the stress. Rich and wealthy people have a very good way to deal with the stress of any situation. By facing the problem, and resolving it, and if they are not capable to solve the problems by themselves, they seek help until they fix the problem. Also because they accept the responsibility of their acts and their mistakes, and this makes them more courageous, and they value themselves more. While the poor people doesn't know how to deal with the stress. And they look for ways to forget their problems, like alcohol and violence, to deal with their stress. The poor people look for ways to forget their problems, like alcohol, violence and drugs, instead of facing and solving their problems. Another reason it's because for the ambition, confidence and attitude that they have in themselves. While rich people have a great ambition, a huge confidence on themselves and a great winning and successful attitude, and that makes them feel that they are capable to achieve everything that they want. Poor people do not think about the future, they do not have ambitions or plans. They live every day, only with what they have. Because they do not believe that they are capable of achieving their dreams. And also because they are very conformist and that they are not willing to do what it takes to achieve all that they want. Another reason it's that the rich and wealthy people focus, concentrates, and appreciate for the good things that they already have. And that motivates them to work for what they still don't have yet, but that they want to achieve. Poor people only focus on what they do not have, rather than on what they do have. And they see the wealth of others with envy, suspicion, and hatred, and they think that they have to work and study a lot to achieve that wealth. And that makes them lazy, and they seek wealth in an easier way, but in dangerous and illegal ways. They have the absurd and stupid idea that by stealing and to doing bad things, and to be in the drugs business, that they are going to be rich, millionaire, and wealthy. And that it's so stupid. A success attitude, a winning attitude, is all that you need to succeed and to achieve everything that you want. Absolutely everything. Because the attitude of success and winning attracts very, very powerful forces and energies from the universe to you, into your life. But you have to be very brave, very strong and determined to be able to be rich and a millionaire. If you ask a millionaire, what did they do to be like this? He will tell you that you have to work a lot. But you will say to yourself that you get up before dawn and work a lot until nightfall, and even so, you do not have enough money, and that you can't buy anything. Perhaps many of the millionaires do not even know how they achieved their huge fortunes. Or maybe many of them do not want to tell us how do they achieve their fortunes. Or maybe they don't really knows. Maybe many of them do not want to share the secret of their success. Or maybe they really don't know how they did it. But something that every millionaire and wealthy people has, it's that energy, that attitude, that ambition, and that huge confidence in themselves. And that attracts powerful forces and energies from the universe. Have you heard the saying of, the poor is poor because he wants to? But it's not like that. Should be. The poor is poor because he does not want to be rich. The poor is poor because he does not want to do what is necessary to be wealthy. They don't want to study. They don't want to learn. They don't want to start a business. They don't want to do what it takes to be rich. God is a force. To be and to have. God, it's not a physical being. I know that you have heard and read that God created everything in 7 days. But that is not possible, since no being can control the great and powerful force of life and creation. That mighty force that created everything and everyone. That mighty and holy force that creates you, me, God, and everything. That powerful and wonderful force that moves throughout the universe and throughout ourselves. Even the Catholic religion and the Bible speak a lot about her and the respect and power they have, but they call her the Holy Spirit. As the Bible says on several occasions. Matthew 12:31. That is why I tell you, all the sins and blasphemy will be forgiven to men, but blasphemy against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. Marcus 3:28-30. Truly I tell you that all sins will be forgiven to the children of men. And the blasphemies with which they blaspheme, but whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will never be forgive, and it will be guilty of eternal sin. Because they said, he has an unclean spirit. Lucas 12:10. And everyone who says a word against the Son of Man will be forgiven, but whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. Hebrews 10:29. How much greater punishment do you think will deserve the one who has trampled under his feet at the Son of God, and has considered unclean the blood of the covenant, by which he was sanctified, and has outraged the Spirit of grace? Marcus 3:28-29. Truly I tell you that all the sins will be forgiven to the children of men. And the blasphemies with which they blaspheme, but whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will never be forgive, because it is guilty for eternal sin. This is how powerful and important the force or the Holy Spirit is. God is part of this monumental force of life and creation. Just like you and me. That powerful and wonderful force that moves throughout the universe, and through ourselves. That force, so great and powerful, that it is not possible to control by a single being. That force that creates and destroys, that gives life and takes it away, that generates so much energy, creation and movement. That wonderful and powerful force that gives life to every living creature. And it's to that powerful force that we have to attach and use, to be able to attract everything that we want. That powerful and wonderful force that moves throughout the universe and through ourselves, like a current of energy, light and force. The Holy Spirit is the great and powerful force of creation and life. Let yourself be carried away by the force of life and creation. Don't fight her. Use it. Seize it. Move with that wonderful energy. Why do we have the need to invent divine beings and superheroes? Why don't we understand that we are divine beings of light and energy, but with a physical body? And that we can become divine, beautiful and powerful beings. Don't think about losing. Think about winning. Always think about winning. Believe in yourself. Trust only in yourself. Understand yourself. Because only with yourself, you will be all your life. Only with you. The only person that you can always count on. It's you. Only you. You are yourself. Just yourself. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Never. Do not be weak. Do not be a coward. Don't be lazy. Don't be pathetic. Do not be ignorant. Do not be shy. Don't be scared. Never feel less than others. Never feel sorry for yourself. Never. Because you are a magnificent and powerful being. Your clothes, your car, your house, your appearance, is not really what you are inside you. It is not the power that you have within yourself. Even if you wear worn clothes, or dress as you dress, you could be better than the others. Confidence within yourself, it's the strength and energy that you need to achieve all of your dreams. All of them. Repeat to yourself. Yes, I'm ugly, but I'm better than you. Yes, I'm fat, but I'm better than you. Yes, I'm shorty, but I'm better than you. Yes, I'm skinny, but I'm better than you. Yes, I didn't finish college, but I'm better than you. And repeat it many times on your day to day. If you want to be strong and achieve all your goals, wealth and power. Do not expect or seek, or need the approval or empathy or pity of others. Not even the acceptance of others. You have to be strong. Do not care about others, only you and your family. Because self-confidence, it's the only thing that will give you all that you want. Because self-confidence can move mountains. Be firm, brave, strong and determined in your dreams and aim your goals. Always. Do not care about the consequences. Do not hesitate. To be and to have. Let's say that you have a lot of problems, and that you are looking into the sky, and to the stars, and you think, if I live in another world, I'm sure that I would have a better life than the one that I have right now. That I'm sure that the beings that live in another planets have a better life. That I'm sure that if I can be transported to that world, my life surely will be better. But what if, even if you can travel to that planet, what if even so, you will still have that same terrible life that you have? What if, even if you are wherever you are, you will still having the same life? Wherever that you are. What if, it doesn't matter where you are? That wherever you are, you will still have the same problems and the same bad luck. What if you are the problem? What if, that wherever that you are the problem? What if, that you carry the problems and the bad luck within yourself? Maybe what you have to do, it's to change the life that you have. And with that, it will doesn't matter where you are, you will be happy. Because you are the problem, and also you are the solution. Been happy. It's a necessity, to every living creature. Even in the Constitution of the United States, said that everyone has the right to be happy. Been happy, it's a necessity and a right to every living creature. But, what do you need to be happy? And, what do you want to be happy? Every living creature has the right to live happily. Maybe it's a universal right for all the living creatures, to be happy. To have a happy life. Because life it's truly a miracle, and life, it's not abundant in the universe, truly life it's something that it's something, extremely special. Truly I tell you, that every day, it's a miracle and an opportunity. Truly I tell you, that life, it's a blessing. Truly I tell you, that life, it's something, extremely precious. And that's why we have to learn how to be happy. What are those lapses, glimpses or moments of immense joy, that we sometimes feel? We have felt them at one or several times on our life. Even though, it's no reason to feel them. Since our situation it's so terrible. But even so, sometimes we still feel them. That is the immense force and power of faith and hope. It is like when you have lapses of immense joy, but that you think, how is it possible that you feel like this, if you have so many problems and your economic situation it's so bad? But why do you feel like this, since your current situation it's so terrible, why do you feel like this, with that immense joy? And yes, you are right, those lapses of immense joy are a gift from the universe. Those lapses of that immense joy, it's not for the terrible moments that you are now. That immense joy it's for the future and great moments that you will have. It's for the future joy that you will have. If you accept them. But you repress them, bury them and eliminate them from your life. Because you think that, how can you have this immense moments of joy? If you don't have money, even to eat. And you and your family are hungry. They are powerful glimpses of faith and hope. They are lapses of joy, for all the good things, that it's going to happen. If you accept them. They are not present lapses of joy, they are glimpses of joy for the future, for what is going to happen, for what it's coming to your life, for what it's going to be. If you accept them. Do not reject them, do not suppress them, do not kill them, do not bury them. Because it's like if you are burying your own happiness. Embrace them, accept them, let them enter into your life, let them enter your house. Let them live in you. Do not reject them. Those beautiful lapses and flashes of immense joy, faith and hope, that we don't know where they come from, they're a gift from the universe. Untouchable. Unchangeable. Accept them, do not reject them, let them be with you. Let them be your counterweight, when you feel hopeless, angry and sad. For what it's going to be, for what it's going to happen, for what it's coming into your life. But what it's the meaning of life? It's to live. Life it's a miracle. But, yes, I know, that life is not the same for everyone. Living, it's not the same to everybody. That really the vast majority of us, we are born, growth and live in very difficult economic situations. But that there are people who, since they are born, they do it surrounded by wealth, abundance and so much luxuries, and that they have an easy and wonderful life. But why? Why it's life not the same for everyone? For all of us. Why don't we all have the same opportunities and circumstances? Why only so few people can live an easy and wonderful life, full of wealth, richness, good food, beautiful houses, luxuries and everything that they desire? Why? If we are all human and alive. Why? And even if I told you that by the simple fact of being alive, we deserve and are worth living happily, the truth is that I do not know why. Maybe fate does exist. Maybe good luck does exist. Maybe someone else decides the life that we have. But I really don't know. Because if we all lived poor, then perhaps it would be easier to understand, since we would all are the same. But we see everyday people who live an incredible and happy life, full of luxuries and wealth. But we see our life, and that of the majority, and we see so many deficiencies, so much poverty, so much hard work, so much exploitation and so much poverty, and we ask ourselves, why aren't we all the same? Why? There are people who live so well, happy and joyful and I don't live like that. Why? And after seeing so many thousands of millions of people who live in poverty. But that we see the terrible and brutal gap, between the rich and the poor. And without a doubt we wonder. Why? Could it be because of the fate? Could it be because of the good or bad luck? Could it be for a divine design? Could it be because we are not worthy? Could it be that we have not a chance to get out of poverty? No matter whatever we do. But truly, I do not know. Perhaps our lives are destined to poverty, failure and shortage. I don't know. Be obsessed with your wish. Be obsessed with what you want. Because when you become obsessed with something or someone, you are using all your energy and strength to achieve it, you are routing all of your energy and strength towards that goal. Because you are focusing and concentrating with all of your mind and all your heart to achieve it. And it is much more likely that you will achieve it and fast. Be obsessed with your wish. Be obsessed with everything that you want. We, ourselves, attract what we fear. What are problems? And how to fix them? The definition of problems: it's situation or challenge that is presented to us in our day-to-day situation or breakdown of any machine, device or thing that we use daily. Situation that causes us anguish, anxiety and concern. It is a situation, challenge or malfunction, which we have to solve and fix in order to feel calm. But there are problems to problems. Sometimes, we even look for problems and challenges, to overcome them, and to prove ourselves. Because overcoming problems and challenges is part of our human nature, it is part of our instinct. We all have problems. Everybody. Both the rich and the poor. But the nature and level of each problem are very different, but even for both poor and rich, the problems cause us great anguish and anxiety, but the level of the problems are very different. Example. A rich girl goes to a shopping mall, and she sees some very nice Gucci shoes, and then she goes into the store to buy them, since she has the money to buy them. But when she goes into the Gucci store and asks for them, the manager tells her that they don't have the size for her. And she feels extremely disappointed, and filled with anguish and despair, because she wanted so much, those shoes. Example 2. A poor girl is very anguished. Because her father, who is an alcoholic, came home with some drunk friends. And one of them tried to break the door of her room where she was. And tried to abuse her. While her dad fell asleep in the living room because of how drunk he was, one of his friends tried to abuse her. These two examples causes great and huge anguish and anxiety in both cases, but of course there is a great difference between these two examples. But if you ask each one of them, you will realize that these two situations causes the same level of stress, anguish, sadness and despair on each one of them. Of course that in these two examples, the cause of the stress is very different, but even so, it causes the same level of stress, sadness, anguish and despair. But of course, these are two very different situations. But the problems causes in us a lot of stress. Because stress it's not having a real solution for a real problem or situation. What happens is that we focus too much on the problem, not on the solution. Everything has a solution. One way or another. Everything. Absolutely everything. We all have problems, both rich people and poor people, that causes a great anguish and anxiety on people. But a big difference is how the rich people and the poor people deals with these problems. Stress management between poor and rich people are very different. Stress management is something extremely important, because it will determine whether a people will be successful or poor. You have to learn to handle stress. Dramatic people tend to exaggerate problems, and they are the people who suffer the most from anxiety and illnesses. Rich people looks for the solution by any means necessary, asking for help from professionals until they solve the problem. But poor people do not know how to deal with the stress, and they look for ways like alcohol and violence to deal with the stress, and forget about the problems. Poor people look for a way to forget about the problems, instead of looking for the solution. They prefer to forget the problems, instead to face the problems and to solve them. They're cowards. But they don't really face the problems, nor do they look for the solutions. They spend their time blaming the government and the whole world for their problems, instead of looking for the solutions. Problems torment us at night. When we cannot find a real solution, and they do not allow us to sleep or rest, which will affect us a lot, because we need to rest, to have the strength and a clearer mind, to find the solutions. Let me tell you that our mind tends to exaggerate situations that should not be exaggerated, and to minimize situations that are really important. The best way to find the solution to our problems, is to face the problem, with an objective and clear mind. And to seek the help from professionals to solve it. Accept our guilt, and to not look for guiltiest. Analyze the alternatives and take the best, the one with the lowest cost and the one that is fastest. If you are going to face a person or situation, and if you do not feel confident about yourself, It is because you do not value yourself. It is because you think and feel about what you are not, instead of knowing who you are, and for the same reason you feel defeated even before facing the people and the situations. You have to feel confident about yourself, you have to value yourself and appreciate yourself, you must value what you have achieved and what you are capable of achieving. You have to be proud about yourself. You have to feel proud about yourself. You have to be very brave and very strong. Don't you care about the consequences? Brave people are those who highly value themselves. The more that you value yourself, the braver that you will be. Let your energy flows. Do not block your own energy. Let your energy flows. The less that you value and the less that you appreciate yourself, the more coward you will be. Face all of your problems, the people and all the situations. Do not care about the consequences. If you manage to buy or do something that cost you a lot of work, effort, suffering and sacrifices, do you think it is correct to say, "Thank God I was able to buy it. Thank God I got it." Or, "Thanks to me, that I was able to buy it, due to my effort, work and sacrifices. Thanks to me, that I was able to achieve it, due to my effort and work." Many people will say that we have to thank God for all the good things that you have, because they think that God gave us our life. But it's that truth. Because according to them, we have to thank God for the good things that we get by ourselves. Then we can also complain to God for the bad things that happen to us. God did not give us life, it was our parents. The powerful, marvelous and monumental force of life, creation, movement and transformation was the one that gave life to our parents, to us, and to God. Also, although gratitude is good, maybe we shouldn't be thankful for everything. Let's say that you are very hungry and that you want to eat a big steak with French fries. But you don't have the resources and the money, and the only thing that you can buy and eat, it's a small piece of bread. And even though that many people will tell you that you have to be thankful even for that, you don't feel satisfied and you don't feel grateful for something that you did not like. Don't settle. Always look for what you really wants. Always. What it's the obsession. The definition of obsession it's state of the person who has in his mind an idea, a word, an objective, or a fixed or permanent image, and that it's dominated by that idea, word, objective or image. Idea, word or image that is imposed in the mind of a person repetitively and independently of the will, in such a way that it cannot be easily repressed or avoided. Obsessions led us to focus and concentrate only on that objective, thing or person. Because our mind will only thinks and focuses on any way to achieve that objective, object or person. And it will makes us capable of everything, to achieve in what we are obsessed with, in what do we desire. And even though obsession seems bad, it is one of the fastest and most powerful ways to get everything that you want. No matter if it is a person, an objective or a thing. Since we use all the energy of our mind and our body, to get what we want. That's why. Be obsessed with your desire. Get obsessed with all that you want. And so you will get it faster. Get obsessed with the new house that you want so much. Get obsessed with your new car. Be obsessed with the new cell phone that you desire so much. Get obsessed with your new job. Get obsessed with the person that you love and desire so much. Be obsessed with your wish. Get obsessed with what you want. Let's say you go on vacation and when you come back it's raining and your car breaks down with your whole family inside. And you park on the shore and you get out in the rain and you take out the jack to lift the car and after 2 hours of great effort, you manage to fix your car and continue your trip. And when you get on your car, wet, tired and even hurt, from having fixed it, someone from your family says, "Thank God that it's fixed. Thank God." But if God did not do anything to fix it, He did not send His angels or anything, it was you who with a lot of effort, strength and intelligence, you managed to fix your car. Even you hurt your hand, and get wet, to fix the car. Do you think that it's okay that after so much effort and suffering from yourself, that someone says it was because of God? I don't think it's right to thank God for something that you achieved by yourself. It is very important that you also thank yourself for the achievements and successes that you have reached and achieved. That you appreciate and value yourself more. I don't know if God exists or not, but you owe your achievements to yourself, to your effort, to your sacrifices, your attitude, and your intelligence. Many people will say that you have to thank God that He gave us the life and intelligence that we have, but I do not believe that this is true. Life was given to us by our parents, as well as intelligence and everything they taught us and what we ourselves have learned. What is it that we really have to thank God for? One of the things that Jesus hates the most is hypocritical people. As they say, I like to practice what I preach. Be congruent with yourself. Do not allow that no one decides for you. Do not allow that nobody decide what you want or not. Do not allow that nobody decided your own future. But, why are you so angry with life? Value yourself. Appreciate yourself. Be proud of what you have achieved. Be proud of yourself. And then, you will achieve everything that you want. Everything. Absolutely everything. Every problem has a solution, one way or another. Everything. Absolutely everything has a solution. Everything. Love can heal absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. When someone wishes you happiness, it is exactly that you have many happiness in your life. A happiness would be to have a good cell phone. Another happiness would be to have a very beautiful house. Another happiness would be to have a good car or truck. Another happiness would be that you have a lot of money in the bank. Another happiness would be that you have good health. That is, may you have many happiness, that makes you feel full of joy and happiness. That they give you hope, peace and tranquility. You are vibrating what you are feeling. You are vibrating what you feel. If you feel sad, hopeless and distressed, that is what you are vibrating, and that is what you are transmitting to the universe, and that is what you are attracting to you. If you feel cheerful, happy, with hope, faith and the desire to get ahead and improve your whole life, that is what you are vibrating, and that is what you are transmitting to the universe, and that is what you are attracting to you. What you are feeling, is what you are vibrating, and what you are vibrating, it's what you are transmitting to the universe and to others, and that's what you are attracting to your own life. The universe, it's responding to the energy that you are transmitting. The universe, it's responding to the energy that you are generating. The universe, it's always listening. You don't know what you're looking for until you find it. No one knows what they really wants until you find it. Everything has a reason. Everything has a why. Everything has a because. Everything has a consequence, both bad and good. Absolutely everything. Why do you have so many problems and bad luck, every day? The problem is that in your day you have 5 good thoughts, but 300 bad thoughts. The problem is that you have a good attitude for 5 minutes, but a bad attitude for most of your day. You are afraid of too many things, and that you have so little faith and hope. You fear too much. And that you have so very few hope and faith. And that is why you are attracting bad things into your life. Have a lot of good thoughts, and a good attitude of faith, hope and joy, most of your day. And you will see immediate results. Don't be so afraid. Money does not depend on your work. The money depends on your ideas. Success and money do not depend on your work. Success and money depend on your ideas. Success and money do not depend that much on your hands. Success and money depend on your mind. People are good or bad since birth. This is a very deep and difficult question to understand. Of course that we have all seen. People commit acts of such violence and cruelty against other living beings, which make us think in how it is possible that someone is capable of committing such horrible, violent and cruel acts. I cannot generalize, because there are people who are born good, that are the majority. And science has discovered that there is indeed a gene, something in the DNA on some people, that does make them bad. But in fact, we are all born bad. Our survival instinct makes that a baby can take away his bottle or food from another. And that same instinct can make us commit violent acts to defend our life, of our family, our food and possessions, even since children. We have all known of violent acts committed by children to defend their parents or brothers or themselves. And when you ask these children why they did it, they do not know why. which shows that they did it because of our instinct of survival. And these acts are also caused when there is no corresponding authority that defends people, their families and their properties, and punishes people, or when the authorities are corrupted by crime and/or are part of those criminal groups. And that's when the only way to defend yourself is through justice by your own hand. It is when justice and vengeance become the same. But likewise, we have seen and heard of people who, even though they are good, have committed acts of violence and extreme cruelty to defend their children and their families. In the same way, there are people whose essence and nature may be good, but the circumstances, the environment and the area in which they are born and grow, it's full of violence, poverty, hate and injustice, which can force them to become bad, to accept and adopt the beliefs that only through violence and evil, they can survive and get ahead. As in war zones or ethnic violence, extreme poverty, areas where drug trafficking predominates, etc. This is why it seems that we are all born with certain genes that make us react in a very cruel, violent and aggressive way, if any person dear to us or ourselves, it's in danger or threatened by someone else. This means that we can all become very bad, cruel and violent, if circumstances force us to do so. But there are also people who all their life have suffered from physical and psychological abuse, which is stronger than physical. And because of this, they do not feel the slightest empathy for other people or living beings. They are full of hate and resentment, and that is why they release that hate towards other people and living beings. But on the contrary, there are people who have born with a good essence, like this example. Let's say that in a town one of the ancestors of the place hates some animal like seals or puppies. Then he, through several generations, has transmitted that hate from generation to generation. And children are taught from childhood that they should hit and kill them, but when one of those children is ready to do it, because of the teachings and imposition of these stupid practices and beliefs, when he's up front and with a stick, ready to do it, maybe his mind knows he has to do it, because he's been raised that way, but in his heart and soul, he feels that it's not right, and he lets go of the stick and doesn't do it. That means that his essence and nature are good. That he feels empathy and respect for the life of others, even though they have been taught and imposed otherwise. He will not do it. For this reason, you have to analyze your beliefs and see if they are really good or not, if they make you feel good or not. And eliminate and change the beliefs that do not make you feel good. You have to understand that not because 1,000 million people believe that something it's right, it is. You have to create your own way of thinking. In summary, we are all born with the survival instinct, which makes us all capable of committing acts of extreme violence, cruelty and hate. Most of the people are born good. But that there are people and animals who are born bad, who enjoy making others suffer, and who do not have the slightest empathy or respect for the lives of others. Undoubtedly, the area, the circumstances and the people with which a person develops, have a huge influence. People who are born bad, perhaps have that hate and resentment dragging from many past lives. Hate and resentment are caused by extreme situations of abuse, violence, mistreatment and physical damage, which generates enormous hate and resentment, due to the impotence and pain that these acts generate in the people and animals that suffer them. And perhaps this is the cause of their acts, but it is not a valid justification. Hate is synonymous of revenge. But although you cannot generalize, most of the people are good, the great majority of us, we want a good life in peace. Most of us go out to work every day, to seek a better future for ourselves and our families. There are less bad people than good people. But in itself, all men and women are born bad. What happens is that the majority of us adopt the teachings and good values that are instilled and taught to us, such as not stealing, helping other people, behaving well, respecting our parents, etc. Since we feel better behaving in this way. But we are all born bad and with the possibility of doing cruel and violent acts against people that can harm us and our families. But without a doubt there are very bad people who have committed such horrible, terrible acts of cruelty, murders and terrible things, which will never change, they will never reform, because they do not want to. These people do not deserve to live. In truth, there are bad people, who have a spirit and soul full of evil, who have been dragging for many lives. As the Bible says. And the murderer and the rapist you will kill, and you will eliminate the evil and the murderer. So that you eliminate evil from among my people. But never underestimate the power of evil. Good does not always win. It's their goodness on every people. No, there isn't goodness in everyone, not everyone it's good. Do not be fooled, not all people are good, there are very bad people who will never change. There are bad people who like to be like that they enjoy hurting other living creatures, and they do not want to change. Courage and love are some of the most powerful forces that exist in the entire universe. In summary, we are all born bad, but the vast majority of us adopt good habits, good values, and good teachings. People who do not appreciate and value their own life will never respect the life of others. Perhaps that is the original sin with which we are born, according to the Christian and Catholic religions. Do not let that the fear control you. Do not let that the fear take you down. Do not let that fear kill your dreams. Do not allow that fear dominates you. Do not let that fear overtake you. Eliminate your fears. Eliminate all your fears. Be strong and brave. Always and everywhere. And with whoever that you are with. Do not let yourself be infected by laziness, by weakness, by conformism, by poverty, and by the filth from others. Don't let yourself be infected. You have to be perfect and extraordinary. We live in a universe that has laws that govern our lives, that, although we do not understand them, do not accept them, or do not like them, they govern our lives. Such as the law of gravity, the law of vibration, the law of cause and effect, the law of relativity, and many more. But there are laws that have been created to help us achieve everything that we want. Like the law of attraction. But the law that has the most influence in our lives is the law of cause and effect. Love attracts more love. Hate attracts more hate. Violence attracts more violence. Despair attracts more despair. Poverty attracts more poverty. Sadness attracts more sadness. Happiness attracts more happiness. Joy attracts more joy. Money attracts more money. Wealth attracts more wealth. Abundance attracts more abundance. Success attracts more success. The best example of the law of cause and effect is love, because when you give unconditional and pure love to someone, you will undoubtedly receive more love than you have given. When you help someone or a little animal or a tree or nature, then you have the right to request and receive a reward from the universe. Because that is the law of cause and effect. If you have money and you give some money to a poor person, it will not make you poorer or richer, but it will certainly make you a better person. Do it like this. I am so happy and satisfied, for the $1 million that I have in my bank account, because I can buy almost everything that I want, and I can help my family. I'm so happy and grateful for the $1 million that I have in my bank account. Because when you ask for something, even in yourself, you are not sure that it will come to you or that it will manifest it to you. But when you demand an order, then you are more sure that it will come to you. Demand, do not ask. Respectfully demand. But do not ask for it. The fastest way to attract everything that you want is through your attitude. Because an attitude of success attracts very powerful forces and energies. If you think that a person is bad, then you will attract that exact bad attitude from that person to you, even if that person is good. But if you think that a person is good, then you will attract that exact good attitude from that person to you, even if that person is bad. Did you know that one of the strongest and happiest feelings is receiving a clinical analysis with a negative result from cancer? Law of assumption. This law refers to the fact that you must assume that you already have everything that you always want, through auto-suggestions. Because everything starts from our wonderful and powerful brain. When you use the law of assumption instead of the law of attraction, then you will receive everything that you want, faster. Because you are assuming that you already have everything that you want, even if that it's not true, yet. This is through auto-suggestion, auto-hypnosis. You have to convince yourself totally and absolutely that what you desire so much is already real and that you already have it. You have to spend a lot of time and energy visualizing it. You must whisper to yourself what you want. Like a sigh. Why do we have to live and accept our reality? Why can't we live like in our dreams, where we are who we want it to be, and we have everything that we want? When you command the universe, you are sending specific data about what it's exactly that you want. The energy and the time that you dedicate to your desire will manifest it faster. Be grateful for what you already have. And be thankful for what you are going to receive. Always think, I always get what I want. I do not know why, but I always get what I want. When you assume, you are sure. When you assume, you are skipping your doubts, fears, and disbeliefs. The thought that you repeat the most, it's the manifestation that you are going to receive first. Consciously or unconsciously. You want it or not. Don't say or think, I don't want to be poor. I do not want to suffer. I don't want to lose my job. Because the universe only listens to this. Poverty, suffering, anguish, deficiencies, and despair. Don't say either, I want to be rich. I want to be happy. I want to win and succeed. Because the universe really doesn't care if you say I wish it or I don't wish it, I want it or I don't want it. Just by thinking about it, you are attracting it. That's why just think, concentrate, and focus on these feelings. Luxury, profit, abundance, prosperity, opulence, joy, happiness, wealth, money, freedom, peace, and security. Because that's only what the universe really hears. The relationship between you and the universe is personal. Do not divert your attention. Do not think about others, only about the universe and yourself. Believe. To be and to have. Believe. I think that something wonderful it's going to happen to me today. I believe that something wonderful it's going to happen to me today. I am sure that something wonderful it's going to happen to me today. I feel that something wonderful it's going to happen to me today. I'm sure that something wonderful it's going to happen to me today. Believe. Today is going to be the best day of my life. The only person that you have to trust all of your life, it's you. Yourself. Because the only real possession that we have, it's our body. Our mind. Our heart. Ourselves. Our own body. Our own mind. Our own heart. Ourselves. That's why it's so important that you accept yourself. Respect yourself. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Trust yourself. Because only with yourself are going to be all of your life. Do not betray yourself. But what is the being? It is every creature that has a life, a body, a soul, a brain, and a heart. It is an individual and unique being that has the ability to move, grow, communicate, and that has the ability to realize who, or what it is. Of having the consciousness of knowing that he is alive. We are all unique and individual beings. Even if we live in a society or a community, we are divine, individual, unique, and special beings. And each one of us must develop our essence and our gifts, aptitudes, and talents. The good and the bad vibes are the energy that we and others generates and transmit. When you feel bad vibes from others, it is because those people have bad thoughts and feelings, and that generates that energy and vibrations, and that energy it's transmitting from their bodies, from their mind and heart. And that we perceive it. It is something that we cannot explain, but that we feel all the time, when we are close to another person or a group of people. Likewise, when we feel and receive good vibes, it is because that person has good thoughts and feelings, and that is the energy that he is transmitting from his own body, to everyone, and that we receive that energy trough their vibrations. Likewise, we emit energy from ourselves to others, based on our thoughts and feelings. This means that if we feel happy, joyful with hope and faith, then we are generating and transmitting that energy to others. That's the good and the bad vibes. The vibration of our mind and heart, the energy that we generated and transmit. This is extrasensory energy, or our sixth sense, which of course does exist. And the proof and evidence it's when you are somewhere, and you feel that someone is looking at you, and you turn around and that's right, someone it's looking at you. But how did you know this, if you had not seen it? But you felt it, and this is because of the extrasensory energy that they were using and that we all have, our sixth sense and intuition. And we must pay much more attention to our sixth sense, intuition and premonitions. We have to listen and obey our sixth sense, our intuition and premonitions. If you feel that something it's not right, then don't do it. If you feel that something it's right, even despite what it seems, then do it. Listen to your intuition and premonitions. The wonderful, powerful and limitless human mind, human genius and human intelligence, it's so powerful, great and wonderful. And it is only comparable with the human stupidity. What is the essence? The essence or nature, it's what we are, since we are born. The definition of essence is the unique set of permanent and invariable characteristics that determine a being. It is as if our essence was on the high part of our back, between our shoulders. But is our essence invariable? It cannot be changed. Have you ever thought that there are people, or perhaps ourselves, that even if we have planned something very well, it turns out badly? And that there are people to whom everything that they do, even if they have good attitudes, knowledge and aptitudes, that everything they do goes wrong. But why? Could it be that its essence or nature is to lose and fail? Will this be true? Likewise, there are people that everything that they do turns out well, even if they never planned it. Could it be that its essence is to win and always succeed? Is it possible to change our essence and nature? Could it be that, before we were born, our essence and nature it's imposed on us, and that our whole life we do not accept it and try to change it? But that it's impossible to change it. That to be happy, we have to accept our essence and live with it, no matter what it is. Will this be true? And still, how to know what is our essence, and how to change it? I believe that our essence and nature can be changed, but that we have to do it from ourselves, from within ourselves, first. If your essence it's to be submissive and to lose and to always failed, that you have to change it from within yourself. You have to reprogram your subconscious and your mind. Through auto-suggestion, through auto-hypnosis and acceptance and meditation. But first, we have to identify our essence. Do not let that other people and the society controls you. Society will always try to make you feel bad and controls you. Always. I'm sure that have you felt very happy and excited about something. And I know that many people don't like that you feel that way. And they have tried to make you feel bad and sad like them, and you changed your happy feelings to feel bad like them, to be accepted by the others. You stopped being extraordinary, to be ordinary like the others, just to be accepted. That's something very stupid. Never change your way of being and thinking, just to be accepted by others. Never. I don't know why society always tries to control us. Many people look constantly for the approval of others. Many people are obsessed to have that approval of others. And they are capable of quitting their dreams and to change their way of being, only to be accepted by society and others. But why? Why it's so important to you to be approved and accepted by others? Why? What does the society and other persons gives to you? What? And they leave their dreams and their potential, just to be equal to others. To be ordinary. Only to be accepted by them. But this doesn't have to be like this. Think about, what does the society gives to you? What? Why stop being extraordinary, to be ordinary like the others? Never give up your dreams and your potential, just to be accepted by others. You need to be extraordinary. Always. Don't stop being extraordinary, to be ordinary like the others. You have to be extraordinary. Always. Do not allow that the society controls you, and limit your potential and your dreams. Do not let that anyone tells you what you can, or cannot do. What are you capable of, or not? Don't let that anyone limits you. Always have a rebel mind, don't let that the others controls you. Or that they tell you what to do. Do not allow that nobody tells you what are your limits. Never. Don't be part of the system. You have to be more than the system. You have to be above the system. You must break those chains. We have to break the barrier between poverty and wealth. We have to break the barrier between I can't do it to I've already have achieved it. You have to believe that. Yes, you can do everything that you want. Absolutely everything. You have to know that. Yes, you can do absolutely everything that you want. You have to think that. Yes, it's possible to improve your current situation. Because it's totally and absolutely possible. It is. Believe. The difference between imagining and visualizing is that when you are visualizing, you feel the feelings and emotions of that event. Consciously and unconsciously. Do not use the words never and always, because those words are very unbelievable. Never change the way that you are. Never. Just to be accepted by others and the society. Never. You have to be extraordinary. Always and everywhere. And with whoever you are with. What is the soul? I feel that our soul is a set of atoms that are united among themselves. That they have memory of what, or who, we have been from the beginning of time. And that this union of our atoms is currently connected to the body and the mind that we have at this moment. And that our soul is aware of our current body and mind. But that our soul is eternal, and has existed since the beginning of everything. That our soul was formed millions of years ago. And if our soul is strong, then it will continue eternally in another body and in another life. We should not be afraid of death, because it's just one more step in our eternal life. Because even if our body is fragile and mortal, our soul will continue forever. But why is our soul not aware? Why we can't remember what or who we were before? Why we cannot keep learning from all of our past lives? Why? Why do we always have to start over, every time? Every time that our soul is in a new body. Perhaps it is because our soul has to learn. That is why we do not remember at all, our previous lives. Why do we have to learn again? And this is because at some point, we have chosen it that way. Because you have not always reincarnated as a human, not even on this planet. We have had thousands of forms and in thousands of worlds. Perhaps we have to transfer our consciousness to our soul. Perhaps what we wish to achieve is an eternal consciousness. Perhaps our soul was perfect and pure. But living in this planet has made it impure and unclean. Our soul was perfect, but being alive impregnated with the essence of our body and our life. And that's why, our soul becomes impure and ceases to be perfect and pure, due to the reality of this life. Due to the mundane of this life and this world. Since no human being is perfect. No one. We all make mistakes, but perhaps it is not because we are bad, perhaps it is because we do not have a guide or someone to guide us and to teach us. We do not have a guidance. There is nobody to teach us. And we must also have to define, what is the perfection? What is the perfect being? Will it be the one who never makes mistakes? But if we don't make mistakes, then how do we learn? We have to define what perfection is. Perhaps perfection is not making mistakes, but making mistakes, and overcoming them, learning from them, overcoming the problems that this life has. Maybe perfection is to overcome all problems. We believe that the divine beings are perfect beings who have never made errors. But I do not believe that. Because neither the divine beings, nor God, are perfect. This life is undoubtedly full of problems, injustice, inequity, and bad people that affect us. Being a perfect being, it's not by treating all humans well. Because without a doubt there are very bad people who enjoy doing evil to others, and it is also part of life, to defend ourselves and our families, and to punish all the people who treat us badly and who they do evil things to us, and our families. But maybe we can be perfect. Maybe life can be perfect. The mundane can be divine. Divine beings are not perfect. Perhaps perfection it's not making mistakes, perhaps perfection it's learning from our mistakes and overcoming them. Perhaps the perfection it's not treating and allowing other people to hurt us and our families. Perhaps perfection it's to defend ourselves and punish the bad people who try to harm us. God it's not perfect. Don't trust God. Never trust God. Never. Perhaps perfection it's not making mistakes, but that our good actions are bigger than our mistakes. May our good actions be much greater than our errors. May our mind and heart, may our thoughts and feelings, be much greater than our errors and the mundane of the others. Perhaps perfection it's that our soul, mind and heart are strong. And that we do not allow ourselves to be intimidated or convinced by the inferior, weak, dirty and banal minds of others. May our thoughts, ideas and feelings, be stronger and better than those of others. Perfection it's to be better than the others. Perfection is, to be better than the rest. Perfection it's, to be better than all. To be better than filthy people. Perfection it's having a strong soul, mind and heart, and to be better than the others. Perfection it's feeling and knowing, that we are better than others. That our mind it's stronger and better than others, that we are not intimidated by others, by those inferior, dirty and weak minds. Even though they are many more. But even so, they do not affect our ideas and our beliefs. Even though they are millions more than us. Even so, they do not intimidate us or make us change, since they are dirty and full of failures. Perfection is loving, respecting, taking care of and admiring ourselves, our ideas and thoughts, our feelings, our deeds, actions and words. Perhaps the perfection of the imperfection, it's divine. Perhaps the human and the imperfect are divine. Perhaps the imperfection of the human being it's divine. Perhaps the perfection of the imperfection it's divine. Do not allow to be contagious by filthy people. When you understand and accept that the soul of a human is neither better nor more important than that of an animal. That the soul of an animal it's just as important as the soul of a human. Then your soul will be free. The fear. The definition of fear it's the sensation of anguish caused by the presence of a real or imaginary danger. A present danger or a future danger. That anguish for a real, imaginary, very probably or unlikely danger. Even if the danger it's highly probably, even so, it's still imaginary, because it has not happened. Even if the danger it's highly probably, low probably or without real basis, even so, it's still not real. The anguish for a real danger or only imagined, unlikely or not very probable. Why does it happen, what we don't want to happen? Why does it always happen, what we don't want to happen? This is something extremely interesting, and this is the proof and evidence of the law of attraction and the power of our mind and imagination. First of all, let me tell you that the three most powerful forces, feelings, emotions and thoughts are the fear, the hate, and love. In that particular order, they are equally powerful, and we feel them many times in our daily lives. But fear it's something that it's not real, it is an illusion. I mean, the fear it's real, the feeling of fear it's real. But the events that you fear are still not real. Let me explain it to you, with this example. Let's say you are afraid of crashing your car. Even if you are sitting in your living room relaxed. You will start to think about that event, of not crashing your car, and in your mind, you are imagining and visualizing this event, you are even visualizing all the details. How will it happen? What it's the color of the other vehicle? What kind of clothes does the other driver are wearing? What weather will it be? What will your coworkers say? How will your parents react? How will you feel about this event? And you are visualizing and feeling all these details in your own mind, with your powerful imagination. Over, and over, and over again. But let me tell you that this accident has not happened. It is an illusion. It has not happened. It's not real. But if you keep devoting so much time and energy to visualizing that fear, then you will make it real. You are attracting what you fear, because you are visualizing it over and over and over again. Consciously and unconsciously. Think about this. How much time of your day do you use to visualize your fears and your worries? More than 2 or 3 hours per day. Consciously and unconsciously. But how much time and energy do you allocate to attract good things, good events, money, wealth and happiness? Maybe 5 or 10 minutes per day. And that's why there are a lot more of bad moments and bad events manifesting in your life than good events. Because you are assigning a lot more time to visualize and fear this bad and ugly things. than to visualize good and happy events and things. We are attracting what we fear, consciously and unconsciously. It seems that fear, it's in our subconscious, or that fear, it's our subconscious. But how can we use our subconscious, consciously? Perhaps we have to ask for what we want, when we are very afraid and worry about something. Because maybe that's the direct way to access our subconscious. Our subconscious has the power to manipulate the energy, forces and things of the entire universe. When we find the way to use our subconscious, consciously, then we can control everything. Why do we think that it's easier for bad things to happen than for good things? Why? If really the probabilities of that something bad or good happening are exactly the same. If you wake up and think, today I'm going to crash my car, then you will crash your car. But why? Why does the bad things that we fear happens instead of the good things that we hope for? Why? Could it be that fear it's most powerful than joy and happiness? Why if we wake up and say, today I'm going to win the lotto, why does that not happen? Why always happens what we do not want to happen? If we use the same energy and intensity to attract bad things than good things and situations. But why always happens what we don't want to happen? We believe that it is easier for bad things to happen, and that is why bad things happen to us, all the time. Because we accept that it is easier for bad things and situations to happen. And we concentrate and focus on bad things and events, because we accept them more easily. Consciously and unconsciously. But you should know that the probabilities that something bad or good happening to you, are exactly the same. That's why you have to focus and concentrate on good and wonderful events, situations and things. Because your mind it's the one that will attract them, to you. If you have a bad thought or omen, clap 5 times. Snap your fingers 6 times. And repeat this 6 times. Yes, it's not going to happen. To eliminate that bad premonition or omen, we ourselves attract what we fear. Consciously and unconsciously. Overcome all of your fears. The power, the money and the success are not for the weak, shy and fearful. The courage will end the fear. Courage, faith, hope and strength and the confidence in yourself will end the fear. The only way to overcome the fear it's the strength, the courage, the confidence in yourself, the faith and the hope that will overcome the fear. Courage is the only way to end fear. Be strong, brave and determined. Always and everywhere, and with whoever you are. Always. What it's the disappointment? The definition of disappointment it's of a person sad or displeased because someone or something has failed to fulfill one's hopes and expectations. It makes us look outside with envy, and towards ourselves with disappointment, powerlessness and disillusionment. And it fills us with failure and fear. But it should not be like that. We must see the success of others as an encouragement, incentive and motivation. If they can, surely so can we. But you must believe it with all of your mind and all of your heart. Since success, abundance and a better life do exist, yes they are possible, yes they are real and you are seeing them. Sometimes, when you completely and utterly gives up, it's when miracles happen. That your happiness, never, never, never depends of others. Never. Do not waste your time and your life, looking for the approval and acceptance of the society and others. Never. Because you are a special and unique being. Never, never, never depends on others. Never, never, never change your way of being, nor your thoughts, nor the way you dress, nothing. Just to be accepted by others. Never. Always be yourself. Think about this. What does the society gives to you? Nothing. Be healthy. And with the power of our mind, thoughts and our subconscious, you can also create diseases and the cure. The word disease means a body that is not calm and ease. It means a body that is not in calm and peace. If you have a disease, I don't care what it is, you can dissolve it yourself. First you have to accept that this disease it's inside your body, it is inside your house, it is inside your temple, and that you are the owner of that temple, and you decide who enters or not. And everything that happens inside. The only thing that you have to do to heal yourself is to expel that disease, feel healthy, feel that this disease was never inside your body. Consciously and unconsciously. Visualize and repeat this. Yes, I cannot get sick. 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 Consciously and unconsciously. Heal yourself. Heal yourself. Heal yourself. Heal yourself. Heal yourself. Heal yourself. Never feel sorry for yourself. Never. Repeat it many times in your day-to-day, and feel how the tumor, cancer or whatever you have, it is dissolving inside of your body. Even if you don't believe it, having a positive attitude of happiness, faith and hope makes that your body produce many antibodies, which will make your body to hardly get sick. But if you have a pessimistic and a dramatic attitude of hate, sadness and that always feeling the victim, then your body will weaken, your antibodies will be very low and you will undoubtedly get sick all the time. A positive person with an attitude of joy, faith to succeed, and to overcome himself and any problem that comes his way, will almost never get sick, since his body is strong and that attitude will keep him healthy. Even if you don't believe it. If you're a scientist or a mathematician or a quantum physicist, then you know that everything in the universe has a 100% chance of happening and a 100% chance of not happening. But what will determine if it will happen or not? Everything is possible. But it is a game of probabilities. The probabilities of happening or not happening are determined by you, with the power of your mind and with the energy and the time that you dedicate to your desire. It is you, your thoughts, your dreams, your imagination and your subconscious will determine the result. I know you don't believe this, but you have to believe it, because it is true. You are spending a lot of your daily time and energy creating terrible events for yourself, instead of creating wonderful events, happenings, and things. It's like if you are producing a horror movie for yourself. But the good news is that in the same way as you create those terrible events that are not real, you can create good and wonderful events and things that, yes, will become reality. Like a happiness movie, a comedy, a romantic movie or a hit movie. Instead of thinking about bad and ugly events and occurrences, create a happy movie, like this one. I went to work. But my boss was mad at me. I don't even know why. Then after going to eat I was going back to the office. And I was walking down the street and I saw a piece of paper that caught my attention. So I picked it up. And it was a lotto ticket. So I took out my cell phone and checked it with my phone to see if it had any prize. And wow! That ticket had won the first prize. So the next day, because it was already late, I got up tired. Because I could not sleep. Because I was very excited. And instead of going to work, I went to the lottery offices to collect the prize money. And then I went home. And my wife and children were eating. And they were surprised that I came home early, so I told my wife and children about everything that had happened, and we laughed, and we were extremely, extremely happy. So we took the best vacation of our lives, and after we got back, we bought our dream house, and we invested the money in many companies, and we've been very, very happy and grateful ever since. Thanks to the universe. See. Instead of creating terrible events for yourself, create wonderful events, with the incredible power of your mind, your imagination and your visualizations. But it is necessary that you create your happy story, with all the details, feelings and emotions. Write it down and add all the details, feelings and emotions, and visualize yourself over and over and over again. Consciously and unconsciously. The more time and energy you put into your stories, the faster they will manifest to you. We always seek for pleasure, in all of his forms. Don't let anyone take your happiness from you. Bad and ugly things happen to you, because you put too much energy and time to visualizing them. Consciously and unconsciously. You are attracting what you fear, because you are visualizing it over and over and over again throughout your day. Consciously and unconsciously. Even though they are possible, they are still not real. But if you keep repeating them, over and over and over again, then you will make them come true, with the power of your mind and your powerful imagination. Change your thoughts for what you really want. Change your bad thoughts for good thoughts that will makes you happy. Use the incredible power of your brain, imagination and your subconscious to visualize and create those wonderful events for you. The truth is that you are only attracting what you are thinking. Only your subconscious is attracting events and things to your reality. The thought that you repeat the most is the manifestation that you are going to receive first. Consciously or unconsciously. You want it or not. We can obligate the universe to give us everything that we want. Throughout the feelings and emotions of the things that we want. People who have many good things and wealthy in their lives, it is because they focus and concentrates only on wealth and good things. And that they are sure that they can achieve them. But most people only focus on the bad things that they have, and on the good things that they don't have. But rich people focus and concentrate on the good things and riches. And the mistakes they have made, they use to learn about them and to not repeat them again. I know that there are many things that you want, such as a new and beautiful house, a business, a truck and to travel. So, to manifest it faster, think of a certain amount of money, to buy everything that you want, and focus and concentrates only on that amount. Focus only on your thoughts. Focus only on your mind. Focus only on your feelings. Focus only on your emotions. Focus only on your subconscious. But it's not good that you feel good about the good luck of others. You need to seek your good luck. The truth is that you are not really asking for money, what you really want is to feel freedom, peace, joy, happiness and security. Remember that, in the universe, everything is 100% possible. Everything. And that we are a very important part of the universe. Remember that you have the power to decide what it's that you really want. And to make it real. Visualize it many times during your day. You have to put a lot of time and energy into it every day. Visualizing what you want, the more time and energy that you put into your desire, the faster that you will make it a reality. What you are imagining is what you are attracting into your life. Consciously or unconsciously. You want it or not. Therefore, you have to be clear in your mind, what is it exactly that you want and what are your objectives and expectations. It's one of the most powerful PowerPoints that we have. And what is the sense of all this? What is the goal of life? It is that you and your family are happy, and that you feel joyful, because if you feel happy and joyful, then your family and your loved ones will be happy and joyful as well. Desire equals decision. Command, mandate equals send data. Order equals order your mind. Believe equals create. Create your new reality. Laziness and disbeliefs are the main cause of poverty. Have you heard the saying? The poor is poor because he wants to. But this is wrong. It is not like that. The poor is poor because he does not want to be rich. Because poor people are not lazy, they work a lot from sunrise to dawn. But even so, they are poor because they do not want to do what it's necessary to be rich. They do not want to study, pursue a career, start a business, stop drinking alcohol, read books, watch the news, learn, take courses, change friends that can encourage them to improve themselves. They are so fickle. They are so easily influenced and manipulated. They so easily believe false promises from people who only need them for votes. They believe that someone else will lift them out of poverty. They do not accept that only themselves have to get out of the poverty. The poor are not poor because they want to. The poor are poor because they do not want to do what is necessary to be rich. If you live, think and focus on the past, then you will be depressed. If you live, think and focus on the future, then you will be anxious, distressed and desperate. But if you live, think and focus on the present, then you will be calm and in peace. Stress. One of the biggest health problems of the present, since it is the cause of many other cardiovascular, stomach, mental diseases, suicides, self-harm and many more. First let me tell you that stress is a thought. This is the only real definition of what stress is. Stress is to not having a real solution for a real problem or situation. It's as simple as this, not having a real solution to a real problem or situation, it's what causes the stress. Let me remind you that our mind tends to exaggerate situations that should not be exaggerated, and to minimize situations that are important. When your mind is not objective and congruent, you feel incapable of solving a problem or situation, which causes that state of stress and despair in your mind. Stress is also generated when you doubt about your own capabilities and yourself. Absolutely everything has a solution, one way or another. Absolutely everything. To eliminate stress, you have to have a strong, orderly, balanced, organized, congruent, coherent, successful, structured, rational, logical, sensible, calm, objective, consistent and strong mind and thoughts. And you have to deal and to face the problem with a strong, balanced, congruent, coherent, structured, rational, logical, sensible, calm, objective and consistent point of view. Sometimes the solution can be difficult and expensive, but there is always a solution to any problem. Always. And that is the way to eliminate stress, when you find the solution. And once you find the solution, stress will disappear as if by magic. It is the only way to eliminate stress, face the problem and find the solution. You can follow these steps to solve any problem. 1. Observe. 2. Deduct. 3. To plan. 4. And the most importantly, act. Many times we think about how to fix things, but we never do it. Think about solutions. Don't think only about the problems. Think about solutions. We all have problems. All. But successful and wealthy people do not focus on the problems. They think about solutions. Everything has a solution. One way or another. Everything. If the problem has a solution, then don't worry, because it has a solution. If the problem has no solution, then don't worry, because it has no solution. If the problem has a solution, then fix it. If the problem has no solution, then accept it. Stop running away from your problems. Face them. Deal with them. But everything has a solution. One way or another. Everything. Absolutely everything. Nothing, absolutely nothing matters. Or everything, absolutely everything that we do, matters, even the smallest movement of our hand, matters. The disappointment. Disappointment is one of the most powerful feelings and thoughts that exist. The definition of disappointment is the feeling of failure and defeat for not having been able to reach or achieve an objective, goal or expectation, to which we had put many hours, time, energy and hopes, thinking, visualizing, dreaming, planning and projecting. Disappointment is something extremely powerful, since it can really affect us, and stop us in our development and personal improvement, since disappointment also generates fear and terror to try new ideas, projects and relationships. Disappointment is synonymous with disillusionment. Disappointment, like bad memories, it's something that cannot be forgotten or eliminated, they have to be overcome. However, disappointment, if you know how to handle it properly, is a great way to learn about mistakes. Because no one born knowing everything, we all learn, and many times we learn a lot more from failures than from successes. It's what it's called, trial and error. Although it is true that disappointments fill us with fear and terror, you have to learn from your mistakes and then try again. Your attitude is very important to achieve all of your goals. Deception applies to both people and objects, things, projects, events and businesses. But don't try to deny what happened. You have to accept what happened. You don't have to deny how you feel, don't deny your feelings. If you feel bad, recognize it and accept it. If you feel sad, recognize it and accept it. Disappointment is when we create and visualize in our mind great expectations about a person, object, thing, project, situation, event, business or entrepreneurship. When it comes to a business, project, or event, it is a little easier to identify, accept and overcome, since it is easier to accept, and you can analyze if the cause of not having achieved the objective was due to a poor planning. And you can learn a lot about why it didn't work, and try again. Yes, I know that after a disappointment we feel both physically and mentally exhausted, and you feel that you have lost your desire and confidence in yourself, you feel fear and shame. And you feel like you don't have the strength to move on, but even so, you have to get up and try again. The love disappointment. This type of disappointment, although it seems something very difficult to overcome, it really is not. You just have to analyze the cause of this disappointment, being very sincere with yourself. You have to analyze what were the expectations that you created towards that person. If they were realistic expectations, if your expectations were not to control and force this person to be with you. You have to be aware of what you gave in this relationship, not only what you think the other person did not give. Because when it comes to a person, it can easily become an obsession. You have to analyze and face the expectations that you had created towards this person. One of the most common expectations, and the one that fails the most, it's that the other person has to love you, no matter what you do to her. But this never works, because in a relationship, the two parties must give to be able to receive. But you must know that there is no universal power or law or magic that can be used to attract and control a person. There is not. If after analyzing the causes and the expectations that you had created, you realize the errors that you made, and you are willing to improve your attitude, then you should try again, but with more realistic expectations. You must identify and accept if it was love or obsession. To overcome disappointment, you have to analyze and face the causes and expectations that you had created. You have to accept the causes, and if it is because your expectations were not realistic, accept them and learn from your mistakes. Change them and try again. But for a person, you have to understand that there is no force or magic to attract and control any person. There is not. Everything has a solution. One way or another. Everything. Never give up. The greatest and unforgivable ignorance is closing in on yourself, believing that you know everything. The greatest ignorance is not wanting to learn. Hate. It is one of the most powerful feelings, emotions and thoughts that exist. I would like to tell you that love is more powerful than hate, but it is not. Even hate can be transmitted from generation to generation. The definition of hate is the feeling of repulsion, displeasure and intolerance, towards a person, race or a group of people. It is the desire to cause a great damage and suffering to a person or a group of people. And usually it is caused by the lack of justice against the people or groups, who have consciously committed violent and unjust acts, without any valid reason, against us, or our family. Likewise, against people who, with total arrogance, treachery and abuse of power, have humiliated us, offended us, denigrated us, embarrassed us, betrayed us, insulted us or threatened us, for no reason. Taking advantage of their power, position, gender and social position, or even by relatives. It is when they abuse their power and position to abuse, humiliate and cause physical or psychological harm to other people, or us. For no reason. I know that you have felt an enormous hatred towards people who, shielded by their gender and position, have offended and humiliated you, and you have seen on their faces that expression of joy when they do it. Since they mistakenly believe that, due to their gender and position, they can do whatever they want, and that nothing can be done against them. And that impotence and hate are accumulating inside of you. And it makes you feel bad, powerless and with a lot of fury and rage, and you wish and hope that those acts of arrogance are punished by a divine act. The problem is that no living creature or being should, cannot, or will tolerate this type of humiliation, bullying and attitudes, and as it accumulates day by day, the moment to explode will undoubtedly come, and perhaps this will lead to an act of extreme violence against them. As it has happened so many times in the world. I don't know if they are justified or not, but they are valid, reasonable and understandable, since the other people acted consciously and even took pleasure in making others to suffer. But no human being should or can put up with this. There have even been cases in which the people who carried out these violent acts in self-defense were calm, submissive and good people, but who could no longer bear so much abuse, humiliation, offense and mistreatment, and they did these acts as a form of self-defense. Hate is something that we come to feel many times in our daily day. And depending on the degree of hate that we feel, it could affect us a lot in our life, since it really blocks our will to live and to move forward, until justice is done. And perhaps it is something valid, justified, reasonable, understandable and acceptable. Since we all know and have suffered acts of unjustified violence towards us, and our families, by people or groups of people, who enjoy and are aware of their actions and to causing harm to others. Extreme hate may lead to committing extreme acts of violence towards persons, groups of people or towards the government itself. When the government does not comply with its obligation to protect and punish the guilty, since in many countries like Mexico, the government does not comply to protecting people and their property. Au contraire, the government is part of the crime and they protect the criminals. Since it has been known of so many cases in which the government does not protect their own citizens, but that they even are in complicity, and are part of the criminal groups, and that the government protects the criminals. Hate can even be against God. As it was found written in a barracks in Auschwitz, God will have to ask me for forgiveness, written by a Jew, in the concentration camp, since the hate was due to the lack of God's justice. And for all these reasons, hate becomes something valid, justified and legitimate, since that person or group of persons acted consciously with treachery, arrogance, presumptuous and abuse of power. When there is already verbal or physical violence, or even threats, from another or other persons towards ourselves or our family, we have the legal right to defend, repel and answer that aggression against us, with the physical means that we have at hand. It doesn't matter who it is, since we have the legal right to defend our integrity. Hate causes in us to be in a bad mood and with an aggressive attitude towards others, but the only way to overcome hate is to confront alone or accompanied, to the person or people causing this hatred. But many times we are afraid to confront our boss or the people that cause this hate, because you don't want to lose your job, friendship or relationship. But when there are already offenses and aggressions, then you can no longer continue in that job or with that friendship or in that relationship. You have to accept and understand that it's over. It has been lost. The best way is to face the people, no matter the consequences. Because that relationship it's over. But a consequence of hate, which is not valid or acceptable, even that it is something reprehensible and cowardly, is that you try to get even with other people who are not even guilty. That you unload your hate towards your children, your wife, your mother or your loved ones, or your pets, who does not have the blame. Release your hate towards the people who are guilty of your hate. Let's see if you are so brave. No matter who they are. Because many people unload their anger against the weakest, such as against their children, wife, mother or pets, since they are afraid of facing their boss or the people who are to blame for the hate they feel. Don't be a coward to hurt your wife, your mother or your children's. Download your anger and hate towards the guilty of the hate that you feel. Let's see if you are so brave. Hate could make us lose control and hit and hurt people who are not even guilty. But even if you say and have reasons to be angry, that does not give you any right to hurt people who are not at guilty. But never take it out on your loved ones. That is a cowardly act. Yes, I know that many times we have tolerated so many insults, humiliation, exploitation and abuse from our bosses or the people that we work for, due to the need that we have to work. Since they take advantage of our need, to humiliate us, offend us, exploit us and mistreat us. And this is undoubtedly an unfair and despicable act from their part. Really, hate is something that hurts us all a lot, and unfortunately there is no way to overcome it. And he will not let us be calm and in peace, until that we see that person pays for his acts. Hate is the main cause of revenge. Extreme hate will inevitably turns to revenge. Perhaps seeking justice by one's own hand, seeing that the authorities do not comply with their obligation, can become the only way. The best choice. The divine justice. What is a curse? Although this seems something bad or a dark topic, it really is not, since in the universe there are forces and powerful beings of justice, which can be invoked to help us do justice. Divine justice. A curse is the invocation of divine power to do the divine justice against a person or a group of people, who with total treachery, arrogance, injustice, abuse of power and joy. They did us a physical or psychological damage, without any reason. It is to invoke with reason and total justification the divine forces and energies through a curse, against a person, or group of persons who did us great harm. Both physical and mental. And since it is a fair and legitimate claim, with reasons and evidence, the universe will act against that person or group of people. When the hate towards a person is justified, then, you can invoke very powerful forces and energies of the universe through justified cursing to that person, or to that group of people. You can curse a person or a group of people, by cursing them. With proof and evidences. Since their acts have caused us great damage. Since the hate towards her or him, is justified and valid to punish her. No one escape a curse. Nobody. When there are reasons, justification and evidences. No one escapes divine justice. Nobody. Also, if you feel that your life has been bad, unfair and full of pain and sadness, and you believe that it has been caused by the divine and unfair intervention of a divine being or force, you can also curse them. Since there are reasons, justification and evidence. No one escapes divine justice. Nobody. And this applies to everyone. As the Bible says. Exodus 22:24. Do not exploit or mistreat widows or orphans or those in need, because they are in need. Because if you do it, and they ask me for help, I assure you that I will attend their cry. And my rage will burn, and I will kill you with the edge of the sword. And your women will become widows, and your children will become orphans and needs. Like usury, usurers, banks and pawn shops. Because they take advantage of the needs of people, to charge extremely high interest. And exaggerated pawn. And they getting richest at the expense of the need and desperation of others. Also to the people and companies, that abuse and exploit their workers, due to their need to work. Hate is mainly caused by impotence. Hate makes revenge and justice become the same. Hate attracts extremely powerful forces and energies. Never underestimate the power of evil. Never underestimate the power of evil. Good doesn't always win. Hate attracts revenge. What is forgiveness? Does it really exist? The definition of forgiveness it is the remission of the deserved penalty for the offense received, or of any outstanding debt or obligation. But can forgiveness really help us? As such, forgiveness towards someone who has done us physical, emotional or psychological harm is something very, very difficult for most of the people. Perhaps it is not part of human nature to forgive. Since those people who damage us, or our family, did it with total awareness of what they were doing, they did it with total treachery, arrogance and joy. And that is why for many people it is very difficult to forgive and to forget. Because most of those people do not really feel the slightest regret or remorse for their acts. Many say that we have to forgive in order to move forward with our lives. But I don't know if this is true, and if this really helps us. Since when there is a need to forgive, it is because there has already been an action of damage against us or our family. And that action of damage was done with total awareness and treachery of that person or group of people towards us, or our families. And that they damage us, or our families, without any valid reason or excuse. True forgiveness has to be done person to person, live, and face to face. But many people who have caused damage to others, do not feel any real regret or remorse for their actions and acts. Since even the most of those people, enjoyed causing harm to others, and this causes even more hate towards those people, and prevents us from forgiving them. And to not forgive someone who has caused us so much damage and pain, does not make us bad people or intolerant. If you don't want to forgive, so don't forgive. If you don't want to forgive, then don't forgive. But you do have to forget and get over that, or those people and situations. If you don't want to, then don't forgive them, but you do have to get over them. True forgiveness is something difficult to grant, since as its definition says, it is the remission of the guilt of someone who has already caused us damage, without any valid reason. Forgiveness depends on each of us, since it is something that cannot be demanded or imposed. But as I had told you, there are people who do not feel the slightest regret or remorse for what they have done. True forgiveness can be granted to our family and children, since blood and family ties are very powerful. But forgiving strangers who have harmed us for no valid reason, it is something very, very difficult. Something very hard. But if you don't want or feel to forgive someone, then don't forgive her. And this will not make you a bad person or intolerant. If you don't want to forgive someone, then don't forgive them. But also when you ask for forgiveness, it is not very sure that they will grant it to you. Hate makes justice and vengeance become the same. If you put a curse on someone and you have reasons, evidence and justification, then that curse will fall on that person, because he deserves it. Justice. Justice is the punish people who have harmed others for no reason. It is giving the reason to someone, when there is a dispute for some land or good. It is giving rights to people who deserve it. It is to give the reason to whoever has it. Justice must be fair, strong, overwhelming, expeditious, direct and objective, it must be free and forceful, it must be free of pressure and bribery. Justice has to be free, overwhelming, powerful, direct, strong, fair and forceful. In all the sacred books, much is said about justice, it is instructed on how it will be imparted and by whom, and that the judges must be fair, just and upright. There is also said many times, that no one can be punished without witnesses and evidences. But unfortunately, we see all over the world, every day, how judges and persons in charge of imparting justice are bribed, and corrupt, to fail in the favor of the bad, and evil people. Bribery and corruption diverts justice from the just, and delivers it to the unjust, evil and wicked. As the Bible says, you will make fair judgments, you will not show favoritism to the poor for being poor, or for the rich for being rich. Thou shalt not accept bribes, because bribery clouds the sight of the righteous, and perverts the judge's tongue. We all believe that we have the reason, and that we are right, when we have a difference and a dispute with our neighbors and our enemies, but it is better that you analyze your own case, before going to see the judge. As the Bible says, and when you go along in the road together with your enemy, to go see the judge. Better agree with him, don't be that the judge put you in jail until you pay everything you owe, and he is released. When you go on the road to see the judge, next to your enemies, you better get an agreement with him. Don't be that the judge put you in jail until you pay everything that you owes, and that the judge release your enemy. Exodus 23. You shall not testify falsely or help the wicked by giving false testimony. Do not follow the majority to do wrong, you will not deviate from justice to say what everyone says. When it comes to justice, you should not favor, not even the poor. When you find your enemy's ox or donkey lost, you must deliver it to him. You have to. If you see your enemy's donkey down with its load, don't pass by, but you must help him lift it up. You must help him. Do not twist the right of the poor in his lawsuit. Stay away from the lies. You will not put to death the innocent or the just, because I will not forgive the guilty. Do not receive gifts, because gifts dazzle the prudent, and harm the rights of the just. Do not oppress the foreigners, because you know what is to be a foreigner. Since you were foreigners in the land of Egypt, you will not move a single inch, the stones that limit your property with that of your neighbor. Do justice both on the street, and at work, and at your own home. But one thing is the justice of man, and another it's the divine justice. Because in the universe, there are powerful divine beings, who love justice, and that they defend it and impart the divine justice. And the way to invoke the divine justice, it's through cursing with reason. Justification and evidence, the person or persons, who with full consciousness, treachery, arrogance and abuse of power, caused us or our families, physical and psychological damage. No one escapes the divine justice. Nobody. When we know and see, that there is no justice from the authorities that have the obligation, the only way left, it's to do justice by our own hand. Without justice, there will never be peace. Without justice there will never be peace. Use your power. If you have a bad attitude, do not expect to receive good things. Love. Love is a feeling, more than a thought or an idea. It is one of the most powerful forces that exist in the entire universe. It is a feeling that we feel when we are close to someone, a living being or an animal. Love is not towards objects, that is called desire or obsession. There really is no definition of what love is. My definition of love is giving, not receiving. Giving to another living being, good feelings of appreciation, affection, caring, attachment, friendship, admiration, gratitude, respect, responsibility and protection. It is giving without asking for anything in return. Therefore, if you give a coin to someone poor, you are loving him. If you give food to an animal, you are loving it. If you help someone who needs help, you are loving them. Love is sharing with another living being the material riches and the wealth that we have. It's feeling good when the person that we love also feels good. It's to feel happy when the person that we love it's also feeling happy. It is the feel and appreciate the life and the heat of the living being that we love. It is sharing and celebrating the triumphs with whom we love. True love is very powerful, and we feel it several times in our day. True love it's something that we feel, but that we cannot, nor should we try to explain, we just have to enjoy it. Love's it's to doing everything, to make happy to the person that we love. Unfortunately, only true love can overcome any adversity. But since love is a feeling, more than a thought, it cannot be demanded or imposed or bought. But true love cannot be bought, demanded or imposed. True love is not always reciprocal. Only true love can be eternal. There are many ways to express love. We can love many people, living beings and animals, since love has no limits. Caresses and hugs have an enormous power to make the people that we love feel good. The will it's a love without commitment. The love of the parents towards their children is greater and more powerful than the love of a couple. There is absolutely nothing that a father or a mother would not do to protect their children. Nothing. In these current times, it seems that love is disappearing. It seems that love's it's cooling down, since we see every day on the news acts of so much cruelty, violence and lack of love towards other living creatures and beings. Love can get cold and disappear when we see and feel that the person that we love does not respond to the love that we offer. You must also be able to identify if it is love, dependence or obsession. Surely that you have heard or even said that. Why does love hurt so much? And this is conclusive proof that you don't realize what you're saying. Why does love hurt so much? Love does not hurt. Love is something wonderful, unique and powerful. What hurts it's the heartbreak, the betrayal, the deceit, and the lack of love. But love it's a wonderful and powerful thing. Love can heal everything. Everything. Love has no limits, no form, no religion, no race and no gender. As Jesus said, love one another as much as I have loved you. We must love and respect life. Truly, love can heal everything. Absolutely everything. The trust. Trust it's something very difficult to explain. It is a strong and special feeling, in which intuition and instincts influence a lot. It is something like magic, as on a spiritual and energy level, it is like the reception of good energy from the other person. It is a feeling, more than a thought, because even if someone tells you that you have to trust him, or her, or someone else, you won't do it, until you feel it. The definition of trust it's a feeling of security and protection, that do you feel when you are close to certain people. It is like a magical bond that is created between two people, which makes you feel safe when you are with him or her. Feeling that that person feels interest, protection and security towards you, and that the other person cares about you. It is like a commitment, like a pact between the two. It is a feeling more than a thought. But also when you feel mistrust of someone, it is because both your instincts and intuition perceive that person is not good and will try to hurt you. Get away. So also trust can be used to expect good things. If you trust that something bad it's going to happen to you, then, without a doubt, something bad will happen to you. If you trust that something good it's going to happen to you, then, without a doubt, something good will happen to you. If you trust that you are going to be successful, then, without a doubt, you will be successful. If you trust that you are going to fail, then without a doubt you will fail. Trust is, as if you had a sheet of paper and you crumpled it up, and then you try to unwrinkle it, but no matter how hard you try, it will never be the same. It's good to trust. But it's better not to trust. Don't trust the strangers. Do not trust God. Never trust God. Never. What are presentiments, hunches, and presages? The definition of presentiment: it's a sensation and feeling of alertness and alert, for immediate or a future danger. It is something like extrasensory. This means that it comes from beyond our five senses. It's what is called our sixth sense. And if you don't believe me that exists, this is the evidence. It has happened to all of us. That we are somewhere, and if someone's staring at us from the distance, watching us, then we feel that someone it's watching us, and we turn around to see who it's watching us. But why? If we were looking at another place, but even so, we felt that someone was staring at us. We feel that someone it's staring at us, watching us. That is our sixth sense. It is something difficult to understand and explain, but we have all felt it. And it is something that usually comes from our stomach and our heart, not from our mind. It is a sensation and feeling that puts us on alert. It is something like magic, like outside of all logic, science and understanding, but it is true. Science has not been able to explain this. Perhaps the presentiments come from the universe. Or it could be a warning from ourselves from the future, or from someone who wants to protect us, perhaps an angel or a relative who has already passed away. No one knows exactly where they come from. But we feel them many times in our day-to-day. But why don't we listen to them? When we have a feeling, our mind tries to analyze the reason for that feeling, our mind tries to find a valid reason for that feeling. But after not finding any logical reason, our own mind discards it. But we need to listen, pay attention and obey our presentiments, our hunches and the presages. Because they are real, and they trying to protect us and our families. If you feel that something it is not right, then do not do it. If you feel that something it's right, then do it. Pay attention and listen to your intuition and your heart. Science has discovered that we have neurons in our heart and our stomach, so the presentiments are not generated by our mind, they come from somewhere else. To avoid problems and dangerous situations for us and our families, we better should pay and listen with much more attention to our premonitions, hunches, feelings and presentiments, and pay attention to them. Science knows that we have a sixth sense, which we still do not understand it at all. Perhaps the presentiments and premonitions comes from God or some angel or force or energy that it's trying to protect us. It's like a gift from the universe to us. Pay attention to your intuition, premonitions, presages and presentiments. If you feel that something it's wrong, then you better do not do it. If you feel that something it's right, then do it. If you are going to buy a car and you feel that something it's not right, then you better not buy it. If you go somewhere, and you feel that something it's not right, then you better get out of there. Don't try to understand why, just pay attention to what you feel. Don't try to understand why you feel that, pay attention to your feelings and to your intuition. If you feel something it's wrong, don't do it. If you feel that something is wrong, then you better not do it. If you feel that something is right, then do it. Don't pay so much attention to what you think, pay more attention to what you feel. Been alive, it's a miracle. Make good actions and deeds towards your family and to others. And the reward from heaven will be great in this life. What is the respect? Respect, it's a feeling, more than a thought. The definition of respect, it's the feel attention and consideration towards a person. But respect can be a two-edged knife. But this definition, it's wrong. Because when you have to feel consideration towards someone, it means that you feel pity towards that person, no, respect. Respect, it's when you feel admiration for someone. Nor consideration and attention, since consideration and attention is feeling pity for that person. No, respect. When you admire someone, either for their successes, or their good deeds, or for their intelligence, for their abilities, or for what they are capable of performing, then you can feel respect towards him or her. There are three aspects, those that lead to respect for someone: the admiration, the consideration, and the attention. If you got a job somewhere, and they tell you and demand you that you have to respect the bosses and the directors, just because of their hierarchy, but you see that their acts and their way of treating others is abusive, rude and arrogant, then still, even if you are forced and demanded that you have to respect them, inside you, you will never respect them. Because respect, it's a feeling more than a thought or an idea. What you will do is to tolerate them, but it is not respect, and remember that the tolerance goes as far as you decide. Since true respect cannot be imposed, forced or bought. There are people who feel a great powerlessness due to their ineptitude and lack of attitudes and knowledge. And when they acquired certain power, they try to force people to respect them through violence and imposition, since otherwise they would never could achieve the respect from others. But fear is not respect, and at the end, people will continue without respecting them, even though they feel fear, but fear, it's not respect. Respect is earned. Let me tell you that respect, like love, it's something that cannot be demanded, purchased or imposed. Respect, it's an instinct. Respect towards someone else is something very difficult, since it also implies submission and obedience towards that person. If you were to analyze your feelings, you would realize that there are really very few people whom you really respect. Like our mother, who shows us with her actions of making us to eat, being aware of us, and so many actions of love towards us, which generate in us a huge and total respect towards her. Our own mother earns our admiration. And admiration, it's respect. Since respect is earned with actions. Respect, it's very similar to love. True love and respect are almost the same. No one can force us to respect someone. Nobody. It doesn't matter of their social hierarchical, government or family position, since respect, it's something that it's really earned, through the attitude and actions of that person or groups. Even if someone wants to impose respect towards another person or towards him or herself, inside of us, we will never really respect them inside. Tolerance and respect are very different. You can tolerate someone or a group, but it is not respect. Remember that tolerance ends whenever you decide so. Respect entails submission and obedience. Respect, it's admiration towards someone. Many minority groups try to impose on us the respect for their ideas through violence and imposition. Since these groups say that if you do not accept, respect and agree with all of their ideas, it is because you are intolerant and a bad person. This means that, when they ask you what you think about their ideals, they don't want to hear your point of view, they want to hear what they want you to think about them. In other words, they talk about freedom of expression, but if you don't treat them and think like them, then they will catalog and label you as an intolerant and a bad person. So these groups are hypocrites, since they talk about freedom of expression, but they want to impose their ideas and the ways of thinking with violence. But each one of us has the universal right to the free expression, and the freedom of thinking, which means that we have the total and absolute freedom to agree or disagree with these groups. Remember that it is not respect, it is tolerance. Also, many groups and people try to impose respect towards them through fear and violence. But since respect, it's a feeling, more than a thought. It is not possible to demand it, impose it or buy it. It's not possible. Fear is not respect. Fear is fear, and fear leads to hate and revenge. The idea it's imposed on us that we have to respect certain groups of people only because of their gender, age, social class, position in the company, social strata, government position, sexual preference and profession. But we have all seen and suffered from the actions of arrogance, mistreat and a very bad attitude of many of these people against us and our families, who try to humiliate us, denigrate us, and force us to do things that we do not want to do, shielded in the respect that according to them they deserve. I can't generalize, but lots of people use this tactic. I cannot say that all women are good, nor can I say that all elderly are good, nor that all the youngsters are good, nor that all men are bad, nor that all people are good. And much less I can affirm that the president, his cabinet and the government people are good. And that are they not corrupt, or that they seeking the good of our country. Since his actions totally demonstrate the opposite. But as I have already told you, respect it's earned, it's not demanded or imposed. You do not have the obligation of any form to respect whom you do not consider worthy of your respect, since there is no law in the world that obliges you to respect any person or a group of persons, against your will. There is not. If someone tells you that you have to respect them only because of their gender, age, social position, hierarchy or profession, it is not true. This means that not because he is your boss do you have to respect him. Nor do you have to put up with or tolerate his insults, bad jokes, sexual jokes, rudeness, offenses, sexual violence, humiliation, blows or harassment, just because he is your boss. Or that you have to tolerate insults, offenses, humiliation, bad jokes, sexual jokes, physical attacks or harassment, on the part of a woman, the elderly, authorities, public servants, relatives, members of the clergy, or the president or from absolutely nobody. Even if they say that you have to tolerate it, and to do what they say, for the respect that according to them they deserve. You will not have to do it. But, if there are already offenses, insults and aggressions from someone you respect, or family member, or friend, or from your partner, or from someone that you depend on economically, you do not have, nor should tolerate them or allow them. Because if you allow it, they will continue to do it. Since they know that you depend on them, you have to defend yourself, without fear of losing your job, friendship or relationship, since when these offenses, insults and aggressions already exist, you have to realize, understand and accept that relationship and friendship has already been lost, it is over. And you should not, nor do you have to tolerate it, or allow them. Tolerance goes as much as you decide. Likewise, respect cannot be demanded towards religious groups or groups of any kind. Since we have all known of such countless acts of corruption and sexual abuse towards boys and girls by these groups, which preach love, but their actions are of violence and abuses. Since we have all had seen these acts of arrogance generate hate towards those people and groups. Hate attracts hate. Violence attracts violence. There are many people who will try to impose your respect towards them, through fear and violence. Never allow it. Since respect it's something very valuable and powerful, that you give to whom you consider worthy. There are even people who will try to impose respect towards them. Because according to them, they have the luck or by a divine design of having been born in rich families, and that makes them better than you. And that you are not like them, because you are not worthy. And that's why you have to respect them and do everything that they order you to do. Which is not true. Respect it's only earned through actions. Admiration it's respect. Respect it's admiration. Respect for yourself. As I have already said, respect is the feeling of admiration and consideration. That is why it is very important that you respect yourself. You have to admire yourself, to be able to respect yourself. Admire what you do day by day, don't minimize your own successes. Self-confidence it's the best thing that you can do. But to feel sure of yourself, you must first respect yourself, and to respect yourself, you must first admire yourself, and to admire yourself, you must first accept and love yourself. Remember that you and your body will be united for a lifetime. If you don't respect yourself, then no one else will respect you. If you don't appreciate yourself, then no one else will appreciate you. If you don't love yourself, then no one else will love you. If you don't love yourself, then no one else will love you. If you don't admire yourself, then no one else will respect you. In this world with more than 8 billion people, what is your value? How much are you worth? People will treat you the same way as you treat yourself. If you feel important, that is what you are transmitting, and that is how people will treat you. Even if you're not yet a millionaire, even if you do not have too much money. But even so, If you feel important and better than the others, then people will treat you better and they will treat you with respect. Even if you're poor, but if you feel important, the people will treat you with respect. Even so. Because everything starts from our wonderful mind. How you feel is how you are vibrating, and that is what you are transmitting. And the universe, the people, and the energy that surround us, they are responding to you, to how you feel. You have to feel an attitude of acceptance, appreciation, respect, and admiration towards yourself, no matter if you have achieved a lot or a little in your life. It doesn't matter if you consider yourself ugly, fat, skinny, dumb, short, or with a disability. You are worthy of respect. But you have to earn the respect from others. But if you don't value, appreciate, or love yourself, then no one else will. The more you value yourself, the more sure of yourself you will feel. First, accept yourself. Later, admire yourself. Then, take care of yourself. Then, you have to love yourself. And if you are unable to admire yourself, if you are unable to find something good about yourself, then you really have a serious self-esteem problem. Because you must understand and accept that you are going to be with yourself, all of your life. With your own body. With your own mind. Whether you like it or not, whether you like it or not. Wealth and success are possible. But it all depends on you. Never ever allow that someone else control you. Never. How do we teach our children the respect? As we have already seen, respect it is something very important and delicate, since it entails submission and obedience towards that person or groups of people. That's why you should not teach your children that they have to respect everyone. That they have to respect them only because of their age, gender, hierarchical position, social position, profession, or if they are family or friends. Because if you teach this to them, you are opening the door for them to abuse your sons or daughters. You can teach them what I call pre-respect or tolerance. This is the first thing to do before respecting someone. First, pre-respect someone, and if this person shows them with their actions that they are worthy of their respect, then they will respect you. But if your actions are not good, then you will not be respected. Because if we teach them that they have to respect all the teachers, the principal, or all the elderly people, or the president, or the authorities, or all the relatives, or friends and acquaintances, and that they have to respect everyone, and that they can talk to them and treat them however they want. Just for the fact of being elderly, we are putting them in danger, since we all know and have seen the abuses that these people have done, shielded in the respect that according to them they deserved. I know this will be difficult for you to accept, because then, we also have to earn their respect. We have to achieve their admiration towards us. Do not seek their respect through pity and fear. Earn their admiration for you. It's better that way. If you are going to buy them something, do not condition them to give you a kiss or a hug. Because if you do that, then you are teaching them that in order to receive something that they want, they have to give something of their body in exchange, because that this could be used by other people to abuse them. Physical force is not the strongest of all forces. Your mental and spiritual force, your intelligence and your willpower, are much stronger. Most people do not deserve respect. Not everyone deserves respect. Respect it's feeling admiration for someone. Admiration it's respect. Respect is earned. You have to know how to greet and say hello. But you also have to know how to say goodbye. You have to know when something it's good for you, and when to walk away. The atoms are never, never still. They are always moving, they are always, always vibrating. And in movement. The atoms that forms our soul, our body, our spirit, our heart and our mind, are also never still, they are always, always vibrating, and they are vibrating to the rhythm of our thoughts, feelings and emotions. And that is what you are emitting and transmitting. And that is what you are attracting into your life. You are attracting events, situations and people, similar to what you are vibrating. What are you vibrating? If you are vibrating joy, faith and hope, then you are attracting joy, faith and hope. If you are vibrating sadness, anguish, problems, poverty, sadness and hopelessness, then you are attracting sadness, anguish, problems, poverty, sadness and hopelessness. What you think and feel, that is what you are vibrating, and that is what you are transmitting, and that is what you are attracting to your life. Since the atoms that form our soul, mind, heart and our entire body, are always vibrating to the rhythm of your thoughts and feelings. And that is what you are attracting into your life. You must understand that everything that you are thinking, it's what you are vibrating. You have to understand that everything that you are feeling, it's what you are vibrating. And what you are vibrating, it's what you are emitting and transmitting to others and to the entire universe. And that it's exactly what you are attracting to your life, and into your reality. What are you vibrating? What is it that makes you happy? What gives you happiness? Many times we are afraid of feeling new sensations. Do not deny your own feelings. How to eliminate worrying? This may seem like an impossible thing to do. But in truth, it is not. We all have concerns about many things, problems and situations that happen to us in our life. Worries, its synonym of anguish, despair, hopeless, uncertainty, fear, problems and stress. Worry, it's stress, and stress, it's not having a real solution to a real problem or situation. First of all, let me tell you that our mind tends to exaggerate situations that should not be exaggerated, and to minimize situations that are important. Worrying, it's caused by the anguish of uncertainty, of not knowing what is going to happen. To not having a real solution to a real problem or situation. The uncertainty of how the problem it's going to be fixed. Worry is generated by the fear of not knowing what is going to happen. The fear and anguish of the cost that the solution may have. And this does not let us be calm and at peace until that problem is solved. But meanwhile, it will cause us a lot of anguish and fear. Also, many people waste a lot of time asking themselves, God and the universe, why do so many bad things happen to me? Why do I have so many problems? And this is, even if you don't believe it and accept it, it is because you are attracting them to you. You are vibrating problems, and that is why you are attracting problems. Worries and anguish, it usually appears and torments us at night, when we are lying down, and this is because at that moment, we cannot act to solve the problems that we have. That's why worry and stress appear at night. Since during the day, we can look for a solution to our problem, but at night we cannot find the solution to our problems. One way to end the worries and the stress, it's instead of thinking so much about the problem, think solutions. Think solutions. Think solutions. You can also think about what's the worst that could happens? What's the worst that could happens? What's the worst that could happens? And so your mind will calm down, and you will be able to relax until the time to face the problem in the day. Because it is very important that you can sleep and rest at night, because if you don't, you will lose strength and energy, which you will need during the day, to solve the problem. Many people try to solve their problems by themselves, but the best way is to seek help from others. Of professional people. So you can solve it faster. Many people try to fix things that perhaps they don't know how to do or don't have the necessary tools. Like a car problem, and even if you have the attitude and the desire to do it yourself, which is well, sometimes it can come to be worse and cause bigger problems, believe me. It's better to take it to a place where they have the necessary tools and professionals, who can fix it well. But also, if you want to cry, then cry, because it is important that you release the tension that you have, so that your mind could calms down, and you can find the solution faster. That's why. Don't worry. Take care of the solution, until when the moment arrives. Also, a way to end worry and stress, is to think and plan the solution. You can follow these steps. 1. Observe. 2. Analyze. 3. Deduce. 4. Plan the solution. 5. And most importantly, act. Think solutions. Even if you don't believe it, it seems that men, above all, seek to have problems, and this is due to our instinct to overcome and survive, since after overcoming a problem, they feel extremely good. That's why perhaps, we ourselves, looking for problems. in order to overcome them. Sometimes when you completely and absolutely give up, that's when miracles happen. Always. Have faith. Have hope. But, acts. Everything has a solution. One way or another. Everything. Seek for help. Do not leave pendings. Truly, love can heal absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Love can heal any disease. Love can heal everything. Absolutely everything. Love can conquer everything. Absolutely everything. Love can overcome everything. Absolutely everything.